Okay, there you go. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. We are ending 2024 with a huge discussion. Thank you so much for so many people who've supported MHstars for a long, long time. This is our 6th year, and as we end 2024 is a blessing, and I wanted to thank God for that, and also to last annual conference was amazing, and I just want to continue thanking our leader, Rev Wamboy. Thank you for what you're doing. And today's topic is a topic that is been in a community having that conversation about marijuana. How can we overcome this? So let me pray. Father, I thank you for tonight. We just want to start with you because you're beautiful. Thank you for MHstars. Thank you for the leadership. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for sustaining us for so long. Thank you, Father. We love you and thank you. Take us to another level, 2025. As we end this year, we're going to end with you. Thank you for MHstars. Thank you for the leadership. Thank you for the board member. Thank you for the connection. Thank you for our friends. Thank you for those who continue supporting us. You're such a wonderful God. We love you. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I'm always like thinking, with the freedom that we have in this country, is it something that we need to celebrate? Is it something that we need to worry about? Because when the marijuana approval is approved in so many cities, I think about young people. What's going to happen to them? Are they able to control it? Are they able to take care of themselves and stuff like that? I remember in Kenya, especially in the Ot area in Kisumu, I remember this young man that had taken a double portion of marijuana, and then it was very hot. In the city was too hot, and then he went kind of crazy, so because of the heat. So it's something that I'm worried about, and I hope people are not going to abuse it. And I pray that we'll be able to have education and push that agenda to know that you can use it, but in moderation. I don't know your view as I hand it over to Rev Wamboy. Thank you for your leadership. Karibu sana.
Yeah, good evening and welcome to MHstars Association Incorporated. We are sharing a very sensitive topic, and we think and pray and trust that it's going to be valuable to the community. I am curious because many times when we introduce a topic that has to do with drugs, people say that it's for young people. What we have failed to do, which we will do, is to know that the young adult that is 18 years old, 19 and 20, 18 and 19 is teenager. This is the young adult that is going to become the mother and the father. This is going to be the adult. So the behavior is not set up when you are an adult. For the most part, the behaviors are set up when you are young. Therefore, we are also speaking tonight to adults who are already addicted to marijuana, a street name that is a joint. What are the other names? Be thinking about other names that people refer to marijuana, not just a pot and joint, and there is cannabis as an H. There's so many names. Just be aware that they are there. And today and tonight, we are going to talk about recreational marijuana because it is legal, I believe, in about 34 states. We can check the data. 24 to 34 states, it's legal to use recreation marijuana. And the population in California, which we call the nation state, is leading. The thing is, as we all know now, whatever we do when we are young and middle-aged adults, give yourself 30 years. 30 years, you will be able to know the effects of whatever you have put in your body, not just marijuana, but other drugs. The last time I thought about this subject, actually, I put a file that I have still held from school days. I've taught young people. And my file, which I still have today, it is reading harmful drugs. And some of these drugs are so harmful because we can look for a high in marijuana, and that can also become a gateway to experimenting with other drugs. But tonight we want to focus on two areas. Number one area is recreational marijuana, like possession in small amounts. You're not dealing, it's just for having a feeling that high. The next one is medicinal. This one actually affects more seniors than even young adults. Medicinal and people with chronic illnesses, because it has been known, as recorded and researched, that it can be used in various forms. So for now, let me issue a disclaimer. On behalf of MHstars Board, we are sharing information with you, education, awareness, and we say that we are not your doctor, you're not your psychiatrist, your psychologist. We are raising awareness of issues. We say that you need to consult with your doctor, your psychiatrist again, your psychologist, or psychotherapist, or therapist, simply counselor, before you experiment with these things. Because if you have an underlying condition, something that is not harmful to someone who doesn't have a chronic illness, probably it will not harm them. So for this reason, as we continue with the discussion, let us be aware also that there are also states like the state of Georgia that it is illegal to the possession of marijuana. Maybe you can have medicinal marijuana, but you need a certificate from your doctor and for the authority too, because you can be in serious trouble. And I thank God that I don't know everything. And that's why when we have an adult discussion, it's very helpful, because myself, I'm also learning as we go. That being the case, we have a board of directors. At current moment, we have Bishop Pinimo there. He serves more like our chaplain. And we have Dr. Nancy Wamba. She's a psychologist. We have Kevin Goge, who is a nursing practitioner in a general area. Myself and my specialty is children, adolescents, and their families before they are 21 years. That's the population I have chosen to work with. And I see a lot of good results. For a minute, just think for a minute. I'm in rural Georgia, and I have observed that we grow tobacco here. Yet, if you buy cigarettes or anything with nicotine and tobacco, there is a warning that the Surgeon General has put there that is harmful and that it can cause cancer. So my question is, that being the case, we have been warned. So why is someone smoking tobacco, or here in South Georgia, rural, chewing tobacco? One of the issues I had to deal with in the school area is students that chew tobacco and they would come out looking like this. I was curious. I thought they were sick. I was like, put it here. You choose. And you know, chewing tobacco also causes cancer. Could it be that some of the issues that we are dealing with today, we have contributed to them? Without taking more time, Mr. Anthony, come now. I know I did not call you when I say I've talked about the board of directors. He's our finance executive. But actually, it was his idea that we have this forum many years ago. Now we can say many years ago, 2018 in October. And we have met every month except one time. We even met that time. It is just that somebody smart hacked the Facebook page that we are using. Probably the reason why we are not on Facebook Live. That being the case, what is marijuana? Can we talk? Let me just read here to be accurate, and we can start discussing. What we can see is the questions we want to answer are, what is marijuana? What immediate problems occurs with marijuana? What are the long-term results or effects of marijuana? And it depends on, I don't think we're going to get very far. And I think a nice little time is, how long does marijuana stay in the body once it is smoked? We're going to talk more about recreation because it's more likely to cause problems during holidays. And one of the areas we emphasize every December since 2018 is how to navigate and have a wonderful, wonderful time during this holiday. And we can come back at the beginning of 2025 all whole. Nobody's going to be arrested. No one is going to be sick. We are ready, and here we are. And please, we will be able to share this information with you once it's recorded so that it can reach more people. So my Mr. Anthony, Reverend Anthony, come now, and everyone on the call, we're just going to try to answer one question, and then we will invite Mr. Kevin to share with us. Are you ready? What is marijuana? Can someone share with us? Marijuana, or cannabis, is a plant found in many areas of the world. It is also known as grass, pot, or weed. So on the streets, you hear people, hey, you got some weed. like myself, I have worked in very interesting places. It contains the mind-altering substance, THC, as well as hundreds of other chemicals. The amount of THC determines the effect on the user. A joint is a marijuana cigarette made from the dried leaves and flowers of the plant. A blunt is a marijuana cigar or marijuana rolled in cigar paper or cigarette paper. You have seen people roll it. For me, who have worked on the street, I was witnessing actually in Skid Row in California. And this guy, and the police is driving up and down before it was legalized. And he was rolling a joint and he said, do you care if I roll it? I said, don't worry. I just work for Jesus. I don't work for the police. Roll it up. So I have seen people rolling things. Other drugs are also made from the plant. Hashish is made, which is HASHISH, is made from the plant's resin. Hash oil is made from an oily extract of the plant or from hashish. Hashish and hash oil have high concentration of THC. These forms of marijuana are smoked or baked and eaten. Some people even bake cookies with marijuana. So if you go to a home and you know people are smoking marijuana and they hand you cookies, just don't eat all kinds of cookies that people are giving you in these places, especially this holiday. in all these parties people are going. Don't just go eating stuff. You don't know where they were made. Now, that being said, what is marijuana? Can we invite Mr. Reverend Anthony and Kevin, they are board members of mental health, to take it out from here. I'll be your
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Very, very much. Good introduction. Kevin, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very well.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's Kevin here. What a topic. Pretty interesting, especially this time and age, on the benefits of marijuana. I'll just speak a few things on what we are seeing, especially in the clinical area. There's a lot of increase because it differs from state to state on the user, um, especially on legalization and prescriptions. We are seeing an uptake on the different forms. Some is just the liquid format that's already in synthetic form, and some of it that's also being used for patients who are going through chemo, and they get the benefit of appetite increase, and also some of them are just to alleviate chemo side effects like nausea. So that's two things that we are seeing, but it differs from state to state. Now it's still new, so it's not a lot of data out there, but due to the difference in terms of the forms, the routes, how some of it is a candy, some of it is smoked, some is in liquid, but the young people tend to smoke it more. Now, one thing I would really, really ask and encourage, if you're using this, especially for a long time, as a recreational drug, you want to be really open with your primary care doctor. Let them know and explain the why of why you use it. We try the best we can to wean you off and find a better way to navigate, especially for your symptoms or the main cause of why you smoke it. Uh, but one thing I just want to add, some of the items that we are seeing in terms of benefits, like I've said, is the taking off nausea, vomiting. Some people are able to sleep better. And this is just from a data that was published by John Hopkins. So it's still new. A lot of doctors and practitioners are still widespread. Some of them are against it. Some of them are for it. Some of them are in the middle. So you want to be able to, for example, if you're a person that uses, you want to talk to your doctor about this, so that you can get the right direction, in terms of, do you continue, do you stop, do you switch to something else? And also they try to look at your side effects. Sometimes what we see a lot is because of the tampering with it, the additives that are added or by the growers or those that bring it across the border, you see disorientation, especially on young people. Someone was working well, doing everything well, correctly at work, at home, very responsible. Once they start smoking, you see very strange behaviors, and they come in very ill or sometimes way out of control, just because of the additives that are added in there. And sometimes your body differs from person to person, and how you take it and absorb it and break it down. So some of the side effects that we see is hallucination, disorientation, heart rate very, very high, and also some of them have issues with the stomach, really high appetite, and sometimes some cause fatigue, drowsiness. From Like I say, it differs from person to person, but you want to be very careful if you use this. Now, if you look on the other spectrum, for those that are chronic users, maybe in their 60s, 70s, sometimes just weaning them off takes time. But the biggest barrier we see is, for example, if you have someone that's maybe in their 70s and they get like a stroke, I'm just giving an example, and they need to go to like a rehab. People get denied. The rehab facilities don't want to have you in there if you have a history of using recreational drugs or marijuana use. So those are some of the things on the high end in terms of age that we see, and then a lot of dependence. Some of them, because of the little items that are added over time, it messes up with their body in terms of their respiratory issues. We are seeing cancer also because of this. So it's one of those. It's very new in the use, but still needs a lot of study to be done, and it's not easy because of the different addition and modifications that are done to it. Like I said, it could be from the grower, the different flavors, the synthetic formats that are there. But the biggest thing I just want to ask, if you know someone who does use it, just sit down and talk to your provider about it. If you would like it to be added as a medication or plan of care for your current situation and what you're going through, sit down and discuss this with your doctor. It's, you know, because some of that you have to get a specialist to follow and track you while you're using it, but it's still very new. But the stigma that's there is because historically it's been associated with negative things. So now with the science and the modification of it, it's a very new thing in the market and it's slowly gaining traction, but you want to review and talk to your doctor so you can get the right guidance on how to go about it. Back to you, come now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that. If somebody else has a question, we are live on YouTube. You can ask. If Rev is Bishop Penny, are you here to share something? Otherwise, I have a question for you, and anyone that has a question can ask. So you say that it can be used for cancer. I think that's what you said. Can you confirm that? And some people with myalgia, there's a buddy of mine that used to stay in Kansas, and because then it was not legal, he had to move to another state so that he can use it for pain. So I don't know if that's something that can be used for pain. And then also, Rev said about cookies. So how do you know? How do you know the right cookie? Uh, is like really crazy. But information is power. So I wanted to ask that. And then also, can you be able to subscribe or can you be able to give your patient if they want it? Thank you.
Thanks. I'll take the cookie one. So the one for cooking, we see that a lot with the people from the Caribbean. It's like a small tradition that they use depending on the occasion for their uh, family and it's just like tradition for them that you tend to see from time to time when there's like a special event they will do it. So if you're not sure about it, always ask. If you go to your friends inviting you for something or an entertainment or a social gathering, it's good to ask. The other thing is sometimes you see candy that has it on, so you cannot tell if they put the candy there, but you want to be able to, you know, I won't take any of candy. Always good that we talk to our young ones, especially when they're doing these weekend stay over and a lot of curiosity. So you want to be very, very careful on that. Now, in terms of prescription, like I said, it differs from state to state. Some people have they get like a little card. So if, for example, if you have it on and you're driving, and you're smoking and you get stopped, you use that card to show that you have authorization to have it on you. But it comes with restrictions too. Some states you can only have so much on you. If you have more in terms of weight and grams, then you go and you get arrested. So these are just some of the repercussions. You really have to really know your state regulations and the requirements and how you have to handle yourself while doing this. We also see some people who have really bad chronic pain and myalgia with it. They do come in and they get the synthetic drug. So it depends. It depends. Some have legal prescriptions, but it depends with your state and who put it on you, because you need to renew it. Sometimes it's something that you have to take chronically. Sometimes if your state uh, has banned it, then you have to move to another state and comply with the requirements and regulations. So I would recommend, if you there's a treatment plan that's going to be initiated, to follow with your provider and the regulations, and also know your state, know your laws, so you don't violate uh, and end up in trouble.
Wow, that's amazing. So if I go to a stranger home, maybe I'm invited to a party whereby guys are doing whatever, and before I eat a cookie, it's like, he cookie kona kitu. He sweetie. That's really important to know what you're eating. So yeah, go ahead, Rev.
I think we should also look at what are the negative effects of prolonged use of marijuana. It can be for any age. And smoking marijuana is particularly harmful to the lungs. Smoke of any kind is harmful to your lungs and affects their function. Myself, as I said, I am more careful. 1 minute. Can I ask a favor? Everyone mute yourself, please. We're gonna just use the gallery and not the speaker. Especially the young population. Imagine those who are growing and you're smoking marijuana at the same time. And one of the difficulties that the parents are having in some states where it's legal, especially like for 17 and 18 years. Okay, this person. I'm going to ask you to please mute. All right. Yes, marijuana smoke contains many irritants, or rather, they irritate your lungs and are known cancer-causing chemicals. And users may experience hoarseness, coughing, and bronchitis, like repeated. And one study showed that smoking marijuana impairs the lungs even more than smoking cigarettes. Evidence shows that smoking marijuana impairs the body cells which defend against bacteria and other diseases and germs. That is mostly for the younger people, but I believe it's also crucial for the senior population. Because for some reason, when you're a teenager or adolescent, teenagers are 13 to 19 years. That's vulnerable population. Another time that mimics that same period is when you are like 65 and 75. For some reason, whatever affected you or affects you in this childhood time is going to come and visit you when you're older. And that's why myself, I'm going to share from my heart and tell you this. The house you are going to inhabit as an adult, it cannot be a house that is built on a foundation of marijuana. It will come back and haunt you. At the beginning, I said behavior, practices, and habits formed over time, they will come and revisit you when you're a senior. For that reason, what we tell young people, we tell the middle-aged people, the adults, the young adults, we tell the parents, and we tell the seniors, because the teenager who got used to alcohol could be the father who is also using alcohol now. And it's going to be the grandfather who is using alcohol, or vice versa, a grandmother. It is now becoming prevalent, especially within the diaspora community, that it is no longer an issue or a problem with young adults. And I work mostly with young adults. And we are going to have a few minutes to have a response to give to our diaspora community how we can safeguard our lives so that we do not destroy yourself. Remember, behaviors like smoking marijuana just for recreation, you can destroy your own life. And it's one thing to say, my parents did this, my teachers did this, but how about you? I remember a person who said that they got saved, okay. In another life, I'm a preacher, so let me just share with you. This person, they got saved. They said, Lord, deliver me from smoking. Hallelujah. And then took the cigarette. I've never smoked a cigarette, so I'm going to imitate. And this man said, cigarette, I'm giving you a warning. The day you pick yourself up without my hands and light it up and smoke it, that is the day I will smoke. And the man got delivered. Because that's what I'm saying. Self-destructive behaviors. There's what people do to you, and that can be very upsetting, or your children, or peer pressure. But there is a difference when your life is in your hands and you choose to put anything harmful in your body. It's not just marijuana. We're talking about marijuana now, but there are many other things that we can do that destroy our body, including drugs. And that's why we are saying there are negative side effects. Our nursing practitioner, Mr. Kevin, talked about positive health benefits for individuals who are experiencing chronic pain, like fibromyalgia, or some are suffering from cancer, chemotherapy, and all that. That's a different category. And that one, you have a certificate. You have to have your doctor and even your local clerk involved, because, as I said, there are some states that it's illegal for you to possess. Possession is very little. It's just for recreation, just to feel nice. I don't know. I think I feel nice without anything. I'm just overly excited about life. So let us be very careful, because evidence shows that smoking marijuana impairs the body cells which defend against bacteria and other germs. Actually, I'm even wondering, why are states doing this? What kind of generation are we going to have? 10, 20, and I said 30 years from now, we will know the effects or negative effects of marijuana, because the generation, if you are 13 years now, 30 years from now, you'll be how many years? You're 13 today, and 30 years, you'll be 43 years old. Is that right? Yes. And you'll probably be a dad. What kind of, if you make it that far. So let's talk to our community. It is likely that smoked marijuana can cause cancer if used for a number of years. Marijuana smoke contains even more cancer-causing agents than tobacco smoke. Human lung tissue that had been exposed to marijuana smoke in a laboratory showed precancerous cells changing. So in laboratory tests, tars from marijuana smoke have produced tumors when applied to animal skin. So if it's going to affect animals and adults are using it, or human beings are using it repeatedly, there is definitely going to be negative side effects. Can we guard our body? I could keep on preaching and say that what you put in your body, it will come back and testify about you and about me. So let us be careful. And I don't want to, I want somebody to share something and tell us what can help. But my warning is mostly for the population I work with, which is young, and they listen. And how do we respond in the community to this school population?
Okay. Kevin, you want to say something, and then we'll open up for question and answers, please. It's the last word.
I just want to add something that I probably should have mentioned. The other thing that we also see is the negative effect of we are seeing a lot of young people that tend to combine alcohol and marijuana, and because of the combinations, they get a higher effect of the alcohol in their body. The other thing that we see, especially for the chronic users, people that have smoked for a long, long time, when you're trying to put them like on a blood thinners or supplements, sometimes the combination of smoking marijuana and use of blood thinners tends to give you a hard time trying to balance. So you find the INR keeps going up and down too much. So you want to be very uh, transparent with your provider on what you're using before you get started on some of these medications, just to help and understand. So that way you're not being put on something that completely should be contradicted while you're trying to use marijuana for recreation use. Now, the other thing that we see a lot is people who have used it for a long time have something called COPD, coughing, 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 just because they have destroyed a lot of their lung tissue. So you want to be very careful with that. Like Reverend Boy is saying, sometimes what we do when what we are doing while we are young has a negative impact to our body when we get older. So that's it for me. I'll pause right there. Back to you, come now.
Thank you very much. Does anybody has a comment? We have 10 more minutes. A question, a comment to add on what we discussed today. Okay. Anyone with a question? So I think with what I'm getting is there's good use, and with the research in the future and ongoing, it can be of good use. And you have to know where you are, the state, if there's laws against it. And what Kevin has said, the state that you cannot overdo it. And then if you don't have to use it, don't use it. Um, Another thing I wanted to see and to add, what I've seen is sometimes when people use it, you can tell with their eyes. Their eyes get bigger. I don't know why. Can somebody explain that? Why their eyes get bigger when they smoke marijuana, and then they're kind of confused. So, so can somebody share that? Um, and also, we need to teach our young people to be able to be careful with that particular situation. So, yeah. So if nobody has a question, anybody has a comment, and then we're gonna have one or two questions and we wrap it up. Uh, you wanna add something, Kevin? Why is the eyes? What do the eyes get bigger?
The one thing I've seen is the eyes get dry, but eyes getting bigger. I think there might be something else underlining for the patient. But something I just want to add as the final comment is patients or someone who has an underlying psychiatric problem like bipolar, psychosis, schizophrenia, and then you add use of marijuana, it tends to throw off a lot of the. It's like you get more psychosis from it. So you want to be very careful if you have these underlying issues. Just get the right treatment. Just because it worked for your neighbor doesn't mean it worked for you. The other thing is, if you're working, we are also seeing people who have high stressful jobs tend to smoke quite a lot, and they're using a lot of money into it just to be able to get it consistent supply, and it affects them down the line. So, just smoking recreation, or sometimes they'll smoke, but the aftermath they might be okay, but we see quite a lot of heart problems, heart racing too high, and they come into sick sometimes. And you also see strokes, and some of them stroke just really not a good outcome for due to bleeding. So those are just a few items. So if you have a high stressful job, you want to balance yourself and make sure you're taking frequent breaks. And if it's causing you that much stress, is it time to opt to a different profession? Just because a lot of people are using that just as a way to calm themselves down, but to increase their focus. So it's a lot out there on the streets. Like I said, it's still new, still being tried and monitored. I would take case by case, but talk with your provider for your safety and to make sure you're using the right stuff for your body. Thanks.
All right, I'll take. Go
I
ahead.
mentioned something about burnout. When what we have seen in the school
Right.
population, and mostly it's not middle schools, very rare. It is high school in this country. It is that we have observed burnout of students. It's not like fatigued. It's not that they are slow. And by the way, it can also impair learning. In addition, someone, like we said, someone smoking marijuana and perhaps mixing with alcohol, it becomes increasingly dangerous. If you know that we have a population of young people that are driving, and if you remember, one of the culprits that takes away the lives of our young men, especially because they are risk takers, it is in driving. So imagine if a person has combined marijuana and alcohol and even other drugs, because people start to look for a higher. You start by smoking, then you are drinking, then there's marijuana, and introduce something else. And how many young people we know that have been in trouble? I am here to say that, especially for diaspora community, every one person who has been deported, I can think people I knew closely that I went to see in ICE jail. Jail is not prison. They're just a holding place before people are deported. And some were permanent residents. The only thing they had done is either a combination of drinking, marijuana, and driving, things that we can actually control. Please encourage everyone this Christmas holiday to be safe. Also observe, if you're a young person and you're going to a party, maybe you carry your own Sprite. That way, I personally am an adult. I was working with Job Corps in Tennessee. I'm grateful that that facility is closed. It was like working in hell. Would you believe I was an adult? I'm a professional, and other professionals tried to make me take drugs. And I said, why? Because we were working at night. And it is a real, we call it a graveyard shift, like from 11 o'clock in the evening all the way to 8 a.m. in the morning. And so our work was real difficult because we were supervising students actually that are in trouble with the law. The worst that I ever had is because I had a student on my caseload who is 17 years old, and is a lady, and has a 4-year-old child and has killed somebody. So they try to give me drugs. And I'm thinking, really? And I have just come from college and I'm the person, the good Christian who got saved in the Christian Union. So it's not just students. It's not just young people. Be careful. That's how I learned. Even when I carry my own water. When I go to a home visit and they want to give me something to drink, no, I just say, thank you very much. I have my own water. I know what I have in my water. I know the drink I bought. These are that. I don't know what they're spiked with. That thing we call spiking. And even it happens among adults. So don't go taking all kinds of drinks. And that's why I recommend, if you're going to have a party, do you know who is partying there? I have this testimony from Barbados where I visited. People bought their own alcoholic drink. There anyway, students who are 18 can legally drink. But the host of the home was not gonna buy any alcoholic drink for anybody. You're on your own if you get drunk. Wow. So whatever you bring is what you drink. It's very interesting. All these bottles on the table. I have learned a lot of things in my life. Thank you so much. There has been eye-opening. Yeah, thank you, Come Now, and thank you, Kevin. And we want to appreciate you who have called. There was Sarah. There was Betty. We're just going to say the first name.
Janet.
iPhone, thank you. Janet, thank you. And Home Care, thank you. And I'm grateful to be here. And I'm handing back the microphone because we are just about to finish this.
Right. Thank you. As we wrap it up, if somebody doesn't have a comment, he says, yeah, good point. Talk about marijuana, burnout may occur. User become dull, slow moving, drug impairment, not rarely fatigue. Don't care, don't worry, be happy, altitude. Marijuana use for under 25 years causes delay in brain development. Marijuana use for under 25 years causes delay in brain development. Who has the last comment before we close? Rev will give us announcement and then we close. Any comment? Thank you for joining tonight. Otherwise, thank you. Merry Christmas. Be safe. Thank you for your support for many years, going over 6 years with MHstars. We have great plans for next year. We officially are registered, and the Rev can share a little bit of that as she wraps up, and I'll give an announcement. Thank you.
Thank you. We started as an informal group. Thank you, Mr. Kamnau, Reverend, and Kevin, Dr. Nancy, and Bishop Mude. We started just as an informal group to discuss important issues from the faith-based community. So most of us know the Lord, but we had this pain in our hearts that we do not want anyone to suffer alone. And that's why we say that we are available. You can reach us. We have a WhatsApp forum. We are on Facebook, and we are going to share this recording when we have concluded. Yeah, give us a few days. And we will continue next year. Yes, we are a registered organization as Mental Health Association Incorporated in the state of Georgia. And we are classified as a private foundation. 2024 has been an exciting year for us, but 2025 is going to be absolutely wonderful because 2025, we are going to be accepting members in MHstars. We are going to do more together, and we'll let you know when we meet again this January. For now, we wish you a very safe holiday, a Merry Christmas, and we look forward to being together next year. Remember, if there's anything that is nagging you, you can't talk to Facebook. You can't talk to the whole world that you do nothing but feel pity for you. That's why I say choose. And we also recommend, if it's something that has been going on for many years, please seek the help of a counselor. We have all kinds of counseling, and we shared information here at the beginning. If you want to keep learning on yourself, you can also have resources that are available from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, ScienceDirect.com, National Institute of Health, NIH for government. Also, we have resources beyond this. And thank you so much for all of you who are digital. You can also Google marijuana and get more. We shared a lot from our hearts, what we know, but guess what? We are adults that are just sharing. So bring what you have. I like it. I like to say, let's talk about. When you're talking about, everyone pitches in and gives something nice. Thank you very much. It has been a distinct honor. And we want to say thank you so much for everyone who is here today to see us end 2024. with a lot of grace. We are truly, truly humbled. We value you. We want you to be successful in diaspora because this is for this reason we say we are designed for success. We have come so far, we cannot go back now. So be encouraged and encourage one another. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ben, for your leadership. Merry Christmas, everyone. And a Happy New Year 2025. God bless.
Together. We do it together, not
Thank
by
you.
myself.
Thank you.
Get